When you tell your brain that something is important to you, what are you doing? You're deliberately programming it. That's what you're doing.
What if I told you the life you dream of is not only possible, it's waiting for you? Yes, even now, even in this exact moment when you feel like the world is pressing down on your shoulders, even when you wake up tired, fall asleep drained, and spend your days feeling uncertain about where you're headed. Because here's the truth that nobody tells you. The life you want isn't built in times of comfort. It's not created when things are easy. It's born right here, in the fire of your exhaustion, in the storm of your uncertainty, in the weight of everything you're carrying. Right now, you might feel overloaded. Maybe it's responsibilities at work, endless deadlines, expectations that never seem to end. Maybe it's family, relationships, the pressure to be strong for everyone else when you feel like you're falling apart inside. Or maybe it's just life itself, the endless noise of a world that demands so much yet gives so little in return. And in the middle of all of this, you feel it, that voice inside that whispers, I can't do this anymore. I'm tired. I'm lost. I don't even know where I'm going. If that's you, you're not alone. Every person who has ever built a life worth living has walked through this same valley. The valley of exhaustion. The valley of uncertainty. The valley where nothing feels clear and everything feels heavy. But let me tell you something powerful. This valley is not the end. It's the beginning. Because inside this very moment, the one where you feel broken and unsure, lies the seed of transformation. And once you learn how to water it, once you learn how to protect it, it will grow into a life that is bigger, brighter, and more beautiful than anything you've ever imagined. Close your eyes for a second and imagine this. A version of you who wakes up with energy, who moves through the day with clarity, who doesn't just survive the weight of life, but carries it with strength, with focus, with purpose. That version of you exists. And step by step, piece by piece, you can build your way toward them. But first, let's talk about where you are right now. Because before you can build a new life, you have to be honest about the one you're living. Think about it. How often do you tell yourself, I'll start when I'm less busy. I'll change when things calm down. I'll build the life I want when I finally have the energy. But here's the hard truth. That moment never comes. Life doesn't suddenly hand you a season of perfect clarity, perfect rest, perfect freedom. Waiting for that moment is like waiting for the storm to stop before you learn how to sail. You don't wait for the storm. You learn to navigate in the middle of it. And that's exactly what we're going to do together. The first step is acknowledging the weight you're carrying. Because maybe no one else sees it. Maybe you've become so good at pretending you're fine that the world thinks you've got it all together. But inside, you know the truth. You're tired. You're overloaded. You're uncertain. And admitting that doesn't make you weak. It makes you free. Because when you finally admit where you are, you give yourself permission to move forward. Now, let's go deeper. Why do you feel overloaded? Most of the time, it's not because you're incapable. It's because you've been saying yes to everything and everyone else while saying no to yourself. You've been carrying expectations that were never yours to carry. Living by standards someone else handed you. Trying to prove your worth in a race you never signed up for. And the cost of that? Your energy. Your clarity. Your peace. No wonder you feel exhausted. No wonder you feel uncertain. You've been pouring into everything else without realizing you're running on empty. But here's the turning point. You don't have to live like this. You don't have to spend your life overwhelmed, drained, and directionless. You can build something different, something better. And it all begins with one choice. To stop waiting. To stop hiding. To stop telling yourself that life will get easier someday. The life you want isn't waiting in someday. It's waiting in today. Even if you're exhausted. Even if you're uncertain. Even if everything feels like too much right now. You can still take the first step. Because here's the secret. Transformation doesn't start with energy, or motivation, or clarity. It starts with decision. The decision to begin, no matter how heavy life feels. The decision to take one small step, even when the road ahead looks impossible. The decision to believe that there's something better waiting for you, and that you're strong enough to reach it. So let me ask you, What do you want your life to look like? Not what other people expect of you. Not what society says you should be doing. Not the life you think you should settle for. What do you want? Because that question is the foundation. Until you're clear about what you want, you'll keep building someone else's life. And the weight you're carrying right now, half of it comes from trying to live a life that isn't yours. Imagine the freedom of dropping that weight, of letting go of everything that doesn't belong to you, of building not the life others want for you, but the one that sets your soul on fire. That's what this journey is about. And make no mistake, it won't be easy. Building the life you want never is. But here's the beauty. The fact that it's hard doesn't mean it's impossible. It means it's worth it. Every great story begins in struggle. Every strong person was once broken. Every success was once a seed planted in the soil of uncertainty. So if you feel overloaded right now, good. If you feel exhausted right now, good. If you feel uncertain right now, good. Because that means you're standing at the exact place where transformation begins. This isn't the end of your story. This is the beginning. So, now that we've faced the weight of where you are, it's time to talk about something even more important. Where you can go. Because if all you focus on is your exhaustion, your overload, your uncertainty, then that's all you'll see. But the moment you shift your perspective, the moment you begin to see possibility instead of limitation, the ground beneath you starts to change. And that's the first real secret. Your life is built from the inside out. Think about it. Everything you see around you, the buildings, the roads, the businesses, the dreams, started as a thought, as an idea, as a vision in someone's mind. The life you want is no different. It won't appear out of nowhere. It won't suddenly arrive at your doorstep. It begins in your mind. It begins with your belief that it's possible. And the stronger that belief grows, the faster it turns into reality. But here's the challenge. When you're overloaded, when you're exhausted, when you're uncertain, belief feels impossible. You can't imagine building the life you want when you're just trying to make it through the day. So, how do you begin? You begin small. You don't need to see the whole path. You just need to see the next step. And that next step is always closer than you think. Step 1. Breathe and pause right now. I want you to do something simple. Take a deep breath. Close your eyes. And just be. For one moment, forget the deadlines, the noise, the endless to-do lists. Forget the weight pressing on your shoulders. Forget the expectations. Just breathe. Because here's the truth. You can't build a new life from panic. You can't create a future you love while running on empty. You have to give yourself permission to pause. It may feel lazy. It may feel like you're doing nothing. But in reality, this pause is power. It's you reclaiming control. It's you reminding yourself that you are not just a machine designed to perform. You are a human being who deserves to rest, to reset, to recharge. And in that pause, you create space. Space for clarity. Space for vision. Space for the life you want to begin taking shape. Step 2. Ask the right question. Most people stay stuck because they keep asking the wrong questions. They ask, what do I need to do to survive? How do I keep everyone else happy? What if I fail? But the question you need to ask is simple. Who do I want to become? Because once you know who you want to become, everything else lines up. Your choices, your habits, your priorities. Instead of living reactively, just trying to get through the day, you start living intentionally, shaping each day to move closer to that vision of who you want to be. And here's the key. That vision doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be clear right away. It can start small. Maybe you want to become someone who has peace. Maybe you want to become someone who has energy. Maybe you want to become someone who has courage. Whatever it is, name it. Write it down. Hold it close. Because that vision becomes your North Star, the light that guides you through the uncertainty. Step 3. One small step daily. This is where most people get it wrong. They think building the life they want means massive overnight change. But the truth? Real change is quiet, slow, consistent. One small step every day. Maybe it's saying no when you used to say yes. Maybe it's waking up 10 minutes earlier to breathe, to write, to reflect. Maybe it's choosing water instead of soda. Maybe it's turning off your phone at night instead of scrolling until you fall asleep. Small, simple, consistent. Because here's the magic. Small steps compound. Do something tiny today, repeat it tomorrow, and in a month, you're a different person. In a year, you're unrecognizable. And suddenly, you're not just surviving, you're building. You're creating. You're becoming. Step 4. Cut out the noise now. Let's talk about something you've probably avoided, the noise. We live in a world drowning in it. Opinions, expectations, distractions, endless streams of information pulling at your attention. And every piece of it steals a little bit of your energy, a little bit of your clarity. If you want to build the life you want, you have to cut the noise. That means setting boundaries, saying no, turning off the voices that drain you, walking away from the environments that suffocate you. It won't be easy. People might not understand. They might call you selfish. But let me tell you something. Protecting your energy is not selfish. It's survival. And more than survival, it's the foundation of your future. Because when you silence the noise, you hear something powerful, your own voice. The voice that knows what you want. The voice that knows who you are. The voice that's been buried under exhaustion, uncertainty, and overload. That voice is the blueprint of the life you want. And when you finally listen, it will guide you to exactly where you need to be. Step 5. Stay patient with the process. Here's where most people give up. They take 1 step, 2 steps, maybe even 3, and when life doesn't transform overnight, they quit. But listen carefully. Building the life you want is not instant. It's not quick. It's not flashy. It's brick by brick, layer by layer, step by step. And the moment you expect instant results, you set yourself up for disappointment. Instead, fall in love with the process. Fall in love with the little wins, the days you chose to pause, the days you said no, the days you took that one small step. Because those moments matter. They're not just progress. They're proof. Proof that you are becoming someone new. Proof that you are stronger than the weight you carry. Proof that even in exhaustion and uncertainty, you are capable of building something beautiful. Now, I want you to imagine something. Picture yourself 1 year from today. Same person, same heart, same soul, but different life. You wake up with energy. You move through your day with clarity. You feel lighter, freer, more alive. That version of you is possible. And it's not waiting in the future. It's waiting in the steps you take today. Because here's the truth. No one is coming to save you. No one is going to hand you the life you want. It's yours to build. And the good news? You have everything you need already inside you. Yes, even when you feel exhausted. Yes, even when you feel overloaded. Yes, even when you feel uncertain. Your power has not disappeared. It's just buried. Buried under fear. Buried under doubt. Buried under the noise of the world. But now, it's time to dig it out. It's time to rise. It's time to build. This is where part 1 ends, not in finality, but in foundation. Because now you see it. You see that the exhaustion you feel is not the end of your story. It's the soil where your new story begins. You see that uncertainty isn't a curse. It's the blank page where you can finally write the life you want. And you see that being overloaded doesn't mean you're weak. It means you've been carrying too much that doesn't belong to you. But now, you can lay it down. You can step forward. You can begin. When you reach the point where exhaustion feels permanent and uncertainty seems to own every inch of your mind, something remarkable begins to stir within you. It's the quiet realization that the weight you carry isn't here to crush you. It's here to shape you. Every struggle, every doubt, every night you lay awake wondering if you can go on, those moments aren't proof of weakness. They are the invitations life gives you to rise higher than you ever imagined. Because here's the truth, no life worth living was ever built in comfort. No dream worth chasing was ever handed over without resistance. The very life you want, the life where you wake up feeling alive, clear, and unstoppable, is built in the furnace of uncertainty. And the sooner you embrace that, the sooner the path begins to clear. Think about this. When you look at the people you admire, the ones who seem to live with confidence and direction, do you think their journey was free of exhaustion? Do you imagine they never doubted themselves?
No.
They bled through their uncertainty. They dragged themselves through days when everything felt impossible. The only difference between them and the ones who quit was this: they chose to keep moving forward even when the path was dark. And this is where your life begins to change. Not when the weight disappears. Not when the confusion magically fades. But when you decide that no matter how heavy it feels, you will not stop. You will not bow down to the exhaustion. You will not surrender to the uncertainty. See, the mistake most of us make is waiting for the perfect moment to start building the life we want. We wait until we feel ready. We wait until things calm down. We wait until the storm passes. But here's the reality: life is never going to calm down for you. The storm doesn't pass. You learn to walk through the storm, and in that walk, you become unshakable. Right now, if you feel overloaded, it's not a sign you're broken. It's a sign you're being stretched. Growth always feels like overload at first. The same way a muscle aches when it's pushed to its limit, your soul aches when it's expanding into who you were meant to be. That pain is not punishment. It's proof that something inside you is growing. So how do you begin? How do you build the life you want when your body is tired, your mind is clouded, and your heart feels uncertain? It starts with one powerful shift. Instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" you begin to ask, "What is this building in me?" That question alone can transform your world. Because suddenly, exhaustion isn't a curse, it's training your resilience. Overwhelm isn't a prison, it's teaching you to prioritize what truly matters. Uncertainty isn't a punishment, it's forcing you to create clarity where none exists. And this is the heart of transformation: to see struggle not as the enemy, but as the sculptor shaping your destiny. Imagine this: you're standing at the edge of a vast forest. The life you want is on the other side, but the path is dark, full of unknowns. Most people turn back. They look at the shadows and say, "It's too dangerous, too unclear." But the ones who build the life they want, they step forward anyway. Step after step. Fear in their chest, doubt in their mind, but forward nonetheless. And every step lights the next. That's how transformation works. You don't need to see the whole path. You just need the courage to take the next step. And here's a truth that will carry you through: clarity comes from movement, not from waiting. The longer you stand still, waiting for certainty, the fog only thickens. But the moment you move, even one small step forward, the fog begins to lift. So today, take the smallest step you can. Write down the life you want in one sentence. Just one. It doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be detailed. Maybe it's, "I want a life of peace and strength." Maybe it's, "I want a life where I do work I love." Maybe it's simply, "I want a life where I wake up excited." That's your North Star. That's the seed of your new life. And then, each day, ask yourself, what is one small step that aligns with this? Not 100 steps. Not the whole staircase. Just one. If your dream is peace, maybe today that means taking 10 minutes to sit in silence. If your dream is meaningful work, maybe today that means researching a new skill. If your dream is waking up excited, maybe tonight it means going to bed an hour earlier so your body has the energy to feel alive tomorrow. Tiny steps. That's how overloaded, exhausted, uncertain people build extraordinary lives. Not by leaping mountains, but by taking one steady step at a time until the mountain is behind them. And with every step, something changes inside of you. Your confidence grows. Your direction sharpens. And slowly, the life you once thought was impossible starts to become your reality. But you must understand this: there will be resistance. The old you will fight to keep you comfortable. The world around you will question why you're changing. Your own mind will whisper, "What if you fail?" But that's exactly how you know you're on the right path. Resistance always shows up when you're stepping into growth. So don't run from it. Don't panic when it appears. Welcome it. Smile at it. Because resistance is the proof that you're moving towards something greater. And when the exhaustion comes, because it will, don't see it as defeat. See it as a sign that you're in the arena, not on the sidelines. The tiredness you feel isn't from doing nothing. It's from fighting for your future. And that is something to be proud of. Remember this. You are stronger than you feel right now. You are braver than you believe right now. And you are far more capable than your doubt allows you to see. The very fact that you're still here, listening, searching for a way forward, that is proof that the fire inside you has not gone out. You are not done. Your story is not over. The life you want is still waiting on the other side of this chapter. And every single day, with every step you take, you are writing the comeback that will one day inspire others who feel exactly as you do now. So, breathe deep, stand tall, look at the chaos, the exhaustion, the uncertainty, and smile. Because it's not the end. It's the beginning. And the life you want, it's already unfolding, one step at a time. There comes a moment in every journey where the decision has to be made. Will you go back to the life you know, or will you push forward into the unknown? That decision defines everything. And in your life right now, as you stand between exhaustion and possibility, that choice is in your hands. The life you want isn't waiting for you in the past. It isn't sitting in the places you've already outgrown. It's not in the comfort zone where nothing changes. The life you want is ahead, through the discomfort, through the fear, through the uncertainty. But here's the hard truth. You can't build a new life with an old mindset. If you want different results, you have to think, feel, and act differently. That begins with a conscious rewiring of how you see yourself and the world around you. For too long, exhaustion has told you that you're weak. Overload has told you that you're not capable. Uncertainty has told you that you're lost. But those voices are lies. They're echoes of the old life, the one you're leaving behind. And the first step in transformation is silencing them, not by ignoring them, but by answering them. When the voice says, "You're too tired," you answer, "I am tired, but I am moving anyway." When the voice says, "You're not capable," you answer, "I may not know everything, but I can learn." When the voice says, "You're lost," you answer, "I may not see the whole map, but I know my next step." That's how you begin to reclaim control, not by waiting for the voices to disappear, but by refusing to let them dictate your choices. Think of your mind like a garden. Right now, exhaustion, fear, and doubt have planted weeds. If you let them grow unchecked, they'll take over everything. But you can plant new seeds, seeds of strength, clarity, and resilience. And though they take time to grow, with daily care, they will eventually overtake the weeds. One of the most powerful seeds you can plant is this belief: I am capable of more than I feel. Because feelings lie. Feelings come and go like weather. Some days you feel strong. Some days you feel broken. But your capability, the potential inside you, doesn't vanish just because you feel tired. It's always there, waiting to be tapped into. Look at history. Every great breakthrough came from someone who felt uncertain, unprepared, and overwhelmed. The scientist who failed 1,000 times before the discovery. The athlete who trained in silence long before the victory. The leader who doubted themselves in the quiet of night, but chose to stand up anyway. They all felt what you feel. The only difference? They refused to let those feelings decide their future. And you can do the same. But here's where most people get stuck. They confuse exhaustion with finality. They think being tired means they've reached their limit. But exhaustion isn't the end. It's the doorway. It's the point where your body and mind